I know the star of today's movie is Ursula Andress, but by the time we get to the climax of this movie, you could just call her Ursula Undress. Welcome to Sick Flicks, where I take a deep dive into the cinematic sewer to help you embrace your inner gore geek. I'm Mike Bracken, aka the Horror Geek, and today we're headed back to the jungle to become the slave of the Cannibal God. Released in 1978, Sergio Martino's film looks a lot like all the other films in this subgenre. We've got savages in terrible wigs, lots of stock footage, and plenty of things to anger PETA. But the film also has a surprisingly good cast led by Stacy Keach. But enough about that. Can these Stone Age savages slice up enough long pig to earn a coveted 5 barf bag rating? Let's get to the gore and find out. Oh, and before we get started, today's movie is brought to you by patrons Quinn Logan, Kyle Worth, and Kelly Brinks. If you'd like to help sponsor some videos and free me from the shackles of YouTube's arbitrary community guidelines nonsense, you'll find a link to my Patreon in the pinned comment and description below. And now, let's get bloody. We fade in on the jungle? What's this? There's an Italian cannibal movie that doesn't start in New York City? Ah, Ursula Andress, from Bond girl to cannibal queen. What a career. Stacy Keach, this movie already has quite the cast. If you've ever looked at Stacy Keach's IMDb page, you know there's no way in hell I can reference all the classic character he's played. Dude has literally been in everything from a Cheech and Chong flick to Shakespearean plays. Kind of amazing this one didn't kill his career. And Claudio Casanelli. Not gonna lie, that sounds more like the name of a fashion designer than an actor. Mr. Keach's wardrobe provided by Claudio Casanelli. See, totally fits. Just like the wardrobe. Like all Italian cannibal flicks, this one just can't wait to get to the animal stuff. We'll be skipping past all of that, so don't worry. Cobra Kai, sweep the leg. Martino was apparently like, we bought all of this stock animal footage, I guess we might as well use it. I will say it's a nice change of pace to see that absolutely no one involved in this production was trying to convince you they were an American. Gianni Sarago is as Italian as Chef Boyardee. Wait. And directed by Sergio Martino. We last saw him when we covered American Rickshaw. We're going to be seeing a lot more of Sergio in the near future. What the hell? Did they just pause this plane mid-landing so they could add a title card? I love that they paused the footage but kept the sound effect going. That's the kind of attention to detail the Italians were famous for. I'm not seeing any based on a true story text here. We're probably safe. And apparently they think we're slow readers because this thing is on screen for like 20 seconds. I'm not even kidding. And now, back to your regularly scheduled plane landing. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Ursula Andress looks like she's about to go on safari. At the mall. Ursula, is there any truth to the rumor you will appear naked in this movie? And thanks to this handy establishing shot, we know we're at the British consulate. Sure, we can just watch them walk in real time. I mean, I got time to kill movie. Oh god, they've got a meeting with Colonel Mustard. He did it in the conservatory with the candlestick. All this jibber-jabber is just exposition. Ursula Andress's husband is missing.
Your husband was carrying out his ethnological investigations without our knowledge or permission.
And more exposition.
My brother-in-law is a world-famous scientist.
Colonel Mustard is like, cheerio, chap. Now if you'll excuse me, I need to go have dinner with Professor Plum and Mrs. Peacock. With that squared away, they head off. I like that it looks like this Mercedes has googly eyes. And here's Stacy Keach cosplaying Luigi Montefiore. Not bad. I'm no director or cinematographer, but maybe we could move the camera closer to this scene. Just a thought. Why is Ursula Andress wearing a bicycle lock around her neck? I will say Keach looks like he's already prepping for a role in a Cheech and Chong movie here. Now it's map time. I'm not seeing Mordor on here anywhere, so we're probably safe. I, for one, love a good map. I'd be lost without it. I mean, do you kids even remember maps? Christ, I'm old. I can't tell if Ursula Andress has had a lot of Botox or if she's just this unemotive in general. Wardrobe provided by Banana Republic. Then a young M. Night Shyamalan wanders in from another movie. Stacy Keach is clearly reading his monologue off a cue card. Move your eyes, man. I mean, this pacing leads me to believe someone set the teleprompter to melodramatic.
Are you really convinced that Henry has gone to that mountain?
Jesus, can I get a translator? I have no idea what she just said. They dub everyone in these Italian movies, but sure, let's just let Ursula mangle English.
My husband is missing, and I'm prepared to do anything to find him.
Acting. Kudos for not blinking once. Get to the chopper. Shyamalan Light here is like, I'm gonna eat you first, Ursula. Look at this shit. They're clearly not even flying. Tito, Jermaine, and Randy Jackson look on in anticipation. Hey, if you look closely down there, you can see Schwarzenegger fighting the Predator. And they land. I sure hope we find Michael Sopke in the Dinosaur Valley down here. I'd like to add that I, for one, am firmly convinced they'll find her husband. I mean, they've got Mike Hammer on the case. Next thing you know, they're deep in the bush.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that, you pervs. I mean the dense jungle. Oh, sweet. The Jackson 5 are going to do an impromptu jungle version of Beat It. Looks like they picked up a 6th member or a roadie somewhere. The natives sacrifice Rango to their god for good luck, but Arthur isn't cool with that. And he gets a heapin' help and a pimp hand for his troubles. Then Stacy Keach drops the Mike Hammer on him. Look at Keach's face. He's like, there's a lot more where that came from. Just you try me. Oh god, with that hat on, he totally looks like Torgo. We're off to see the master. I know at least a couple of you get that joke. Eventually, they find the beach. I wonder if this means Ursula is going to recreate the bikini scene from Dr. No. Wow, look at this visual effect. We're headed to Matte Painting Island. I bet they find Treat Williams and Kevin J. O'Connor over here. Looks like the same island they were stranded on at the end of Deep Rising. Man, I love Deep Rising. From there, we watch as Shyamalan tugs on his dinghy.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that. I mean, he's pulling their crappy boat ashore. Settle down, pervs. Man, wonder if we're ever going to see any cannibals in this movie. Or Ursula Andress without her safari gear on. At any rate, they're on the right track because here's Henry's knife. The good news here is at the very least, Ursula will return home with a full set of steak knives. Hey, if we just keep heading this way, we're bound to run into another Italian crew shooting a cannibal movie out here. And Jason Voorhees watches from the nearby bushes. And Keach gets spooked.
I thought I heard something. Guess I was wrong.
Yeah, I think that was just the soundtrack, Stacy. That night, things are looking pretty tense. You know, because they're camping. But M. Night's not sleeping. He's up for football practice. Not gonna lie, it's pretty bright for the middle of the night out here. Oh god, I think I fought this dude in Elden Ring. Dude goes missing, which has Keach thinking maybe they should cancel the rest of the tour. We can't go out there as the Jackson 4. The fans will revolt. The next day, they're back on the hunt. I don't want to alarm anyone, but it looks like they've been bamboozled. Torgo's like, the master's house is this way. Ah, what the hell is this thing? Now I guess we can just settle in and watch this live stream. And Stacy Keach is really working his pole.
Hell yeah.
Come on, I mean he's rowing the boat. But look out, here comes the killer croc. Or maybe it's the great alligator. We'll get to that one soon. Man, there goes Tito. That night, Keach realizes he's late for football practice. It is nice they slept right next to the river. Makes it easier for the crocs, I suppose. I'm no doctor, but I'm guessing Keach might have an enlarged prostate. He's clearly up to pee in the middle of the night here. I should also point out that it's great the jungle comes with its own soundtrack. Over the river and through the woods to cannibal camp we go. Oh, I gotta quit singing in videos, Jesus. And look out, because as Admiral Akbar once said, it's a trap. Plus, there are knives at the top. This dude is clearly a cut above everyone else. Look out, the Predator is right behind you. Everyone takes off in fear, and it's like a Kool in the Gang song as they jungle boogie to safety. But surprise, creepy cannibal guy has cut this dude off. Literally. Just insert your own Brandon Tenold decapitation gag here. Guy clearly got ahead of himself. And just when you think things can't get any worse, this dude drops in on Ursula Andress. This Stone Age savage is about to impale her on his spear.
Hell yeah.
God, no, with his actual spear. But before he can make an Ursula kebab, this guy barges in and saves the day. See, I told you if we just wandered around long enough, we'd find another Italian cannibal movie crew out here. Turns out this is Manolo.
My name is Manolo.
I wonder if Tony Montana is out here too. They eventually find a nearby village. Great, here come the white people. We're like halfway through this movie, and I still don't think Ursula Andress has blinked yet. Keach, meanwhile, has some insights.
He was a member of the tribe called the Puka.
Look, a tribe called Puka is nowhere near as good as a tribe called Quest. Turns out Keach was taken hostage by these savages. He's not really here to find Andress's husband. He's out for revenge, like this is a Steven Seagal movie.
I saw my chance and I took it. I ran. I ran and I ran.
I ran so far away. 3 songs in one video. You guys didn't deserve that. This guy's not buying the story of his escape.
No, carajo. It's all nonsense. They no longer exist.
Let's ask Lance Hendrickson what he thinks.
That's the stupidest fucking thing I ever heard.
Everyone settles in for the night, and we finally get some Ursula Andress nudity. I can't show you that because you know PruTube hates boobs, but trust me, they're there. And this dude's getting a free show. He looks like my thumb after I've been in the pool for like 6 hours. Over in Keach's tent, he's busy talking about his feelings after being forced to eat human meat.
You don't forget the taste of human flesh.
He's not wrong. Once you've had smoked long pig, no other meat measures up. Say, you know, Manolo, you look kinda delicious. Then things get deep.
I've never told anybody about this experience. I've been too afraid, too ashamed.
Man, I can relate. I clogged and overflowed a toilet at a Barnes & Noble once and didn't tell anyone out of embarrassment. I'm haunted by it to this day. The next day, Ursula and Manolo meet up for some jibber-jabber.
Will you come with me?
Hell yeah.
No, not like that. She wants him to take her to Cannibal Mountain. Also, chick still hasn't blinked. Anyway, say what you will, but this year's Tony Robbins retreat is kinda weird. Keach can't sleep, which is no surprise with all that infernal drumming, so he goes for a walk. This guy is just hanging around waiting for him, and then he gets jumped. I used to be an adventurer, but then I took a club to the knee. Oh yeah, he's never gonna dance again. And surprise, the cannibal is M. Night Shyamalan. Talk about a plot twist. Remember how I said, oh lord, here come the white people earlier? Well, the locals have had enough of them.
Go, all of you! Forever!
And with that, they're kayaking up the river again. Can you believe it? I mean, this is all pretty awe-inspiring. Later, they stop for some grub. Literally. These new keto-friendly grub wraps are amazing. Then Arthur ruins the mood by saying some unflattering words about Ursula's hubby, and he gets the mother of all pimp hands for his efforts. This results in a double pimp hand in return. Then Manolo wants in on the action too. By God, it's turning into a real slobber knocker down here. I thought maybe my JR was getting better, but I was wrong. Then things get worse because they're about to be menaced by the jungle's deadliest predator, the stock footage cobra. Oh wait, he's just here to try on a new hat.
I don't kill animals.
No clue how you wound up in this Italian cannibal movie then. They set off again and immediately get crushed by the rapids. Looks like they're all washed up. And there goes the boat. I'm sure this is fine. This is really turning into the weirdest episode of Man vs. Wild ever. Why do we never see Bear Grylls fight cannibals? And clearly they didn't take TLC's advice about not chasing waterfalls. I mean, Stacy Keach should be wearing a powerlifting belt because dude is basically carrying this entire movie. Sure, let's just watch them climb up here in real time. I mean, we gotta get this thing over 90 minutes somehow. Keach makes it to the last ledge, but Arthur here isn't willing to lend him a hand. Oh, sweet, we haven't seen a mannequin fall to its doom in a while. I give my life for the master! Naturally, Manolo is not pleased.
You killed him! You didn't do anything to save him, you bastard!
Linda Day George, care to show him how it's done?
Bastard! Bastard!
And mountain establishing shot. And now it's time for an exciting climbing montage. But they do stop long enough for Ursula Andress to wrestle with some wild python.
Hell yeah.
No, I mean this actual python. The trouser snake is only indigenous to South America, not Sri Lanka. Man, it's starting to look like a Jake the Snake Roberts matchup in here. And another mountain establishing shot. We're almost to Mordor. Shame they couldn't get the Eagles to fly them up there direct. Oh God, Ursula, don't drink the water. She'll be dead of dysentery before they even get to the Mississippi River. Great, even out here in the jungle, people are tagging shit with gang signs. Manolo and Ursula head off to explore, but all they find is this boneyard. It's sort of humorous. Meanwhile, Arthur's like, screw you guys, I'm out. And if the cannibals weren't bad enough, this happens too.
My God, the Geiger counter has gone crazy.
Sweet, radiation poisoning for everyone. Wait, does this mean those cannibals are radioactive too?
We'll be rich, Arthur, rich.
Yeah, and you'll glow in the dark too. Win-win. And surprise, the whole premise of this movie has been a ruse.
You, like Foster, believe that story about the faithful wife looking for her lost husband.
Too bad I can't believe it's not M. Night Shyamalan is dead. He'd have really appreciated this kind of narrative swerve.
So I had to convince Foster that I was only here to look for my husband.
Can someone please Google Translate whatever the fuck Ursula is trying to say here? After a lengthy ethics debate, Arthur gets speared like this is an early Goldberg match. Say what you will, but this looks like he's definitely javelining a bad time. And great, now the cannibals have everyone. Will tonight's main course be Italian or some sort of Swiss-German fusion? Weirdest conga line ever. Tyrion Lannister, is that you? Then the chief shows up to appraise them. Well, not a lot of thigh meat on this one, but the rump roast and brisket looks solid. But after seeing a picture, they realize Ursula isn't dinner, she's their queen. That's pretty fortuitous. Oh, and here's her hubby. He's looking great. And these kooky Stone Age savages think he's still alive because the Geiger counter sounds like his heart. Thank God no one ever showed these people a Teddy Ruxpin. That shit would have blown their minds.
You've made him into a god.
Yeah, thanks, Manolo. I already explained all of this. The good news for Ursula is not only that she's Cannibal Queen, but that being Queen comes with a coupon for 1 free day at the Cannibal Spa. Oh yeah, this mud bath is totally gonna relax me. And now she's all cleaned up. Looks like she's ready for Mardi Gras. Or to be in a Masters of the Universe episode. I could go either way. Meanwhile, Manolo's getting some more pimp hands. Beef, it's what's for dinner. And Fulci eye zoom. But Fulci didn't direct this. Then shit gets real pervy. I can't even say some of this stuff because they're gonna demonetize me just for describing it. Ursula may be queen, but she doesn't get a throne. Instead, they just mount her on this discount rack. I mean, that's good. You want to let your Ursula Andress air dry to prevent wrinkling. And if you think this guy is just being nice and trying to save her, you're wrong. He just wants the queen to give him some sugar. And his tribesmen are not a fan of this idea. See, sometimes it's good to be queen. Hey, careful, don't knock his wig off. Of course, he'd probably rather lose his wig than his junk, which is what he loses instead. Oh, great, a sink of snakes. This place really has it all. I can only imagine the Zillow listing. I mean, some houses have a wine cellar, but it's not every day you find a cave with a sink full of snakes. The chief makes the incredibly unwise decision of giving Ursula a sharp stick, and she immediately sets about making her point. I'm the Cannibal Queen now. And don't look now, but it looks like Cannibal Tyrion is about to save Bronn. Or poke him with a sharp stick. But Manolo shows him why you should never poke the bear. Freed, he's moving on up like he's George and Wheezy. Now he just needs to stealth his way out of here like he's James Earl Cash. Sure hope there's no Pigsy in this place. Oh yeah, look at this stealth kill. Brian Cox is probably giddy. He grabs Ursula and now it's the worst thing ever. A stealth and escort mission. God, I hate those. But they made it. Huzzah! I mean, they're still stuck in the middle of the jungle, but yeah. They're about to flee, but surprise, here's a jump scare. Manolo fights him to the death, and now they're gonna log off into the sunset. Gotta be honest, not sure why he's saving her. Her and her brother were gonna screw him over earlier. And Manolo and Ursula were eaten by crocodiles 50 yards downstream. The end. So, what have we learned from Mountain/Slave of the Cannibal God? Well, for starters, that Ursula Andress is really great at not blinking. And be afraid to challenge her to a staring contest, that's for sure. Beyond that, this is one of the better entries in the Italian cannibal film cycle. Sergio Martino is one of Italy's best-kept secrets. Everything he made was either really good or really interesting. This one falls somewhere in the middle of that. I could absolutely live without the animal stuff, but beyond that, this one is pretty great. But enough about that. Can Slave of the Cannibal God fill up enough doggy bags to earn a coveted 5 barf bag rating? Let's go to the gore card! In terms of gross anatomy, Slave of the Cannibal God delivers. We're treated to copious gut munching, severed limbs, amputations, bashed in heads, and a lot more. While not quite as savage as Cannibal Holocaust or Ferox, this one still delivers plenty of bloody mayhem. I just couldn't show 75% of it. Because of that, I'm delighted to give Slave of the Cannibal God a very respectable 4 barf bag rating. This is definitely a sick flick. Looking for more Italian cannibal gore? Then be sure to check out my review of Cannibal Holocaust. You'll find a link here on the screen. I'll meet you over there. Until next time, I'm Mike Bracken, aka the Horror Geek, bringing you all the splatter that matters.